Hey YouTube, and welcome to my first series on YouTube entitled The Afterlife. In this little series, I plan to go through various perceptions of the afterlife held by various peoples and religions and faiths throughout time and history and in modernity, and assess their validity and tell you why they all don't work out for me, and why I kind of am hoping at the end it's just going to be eaten by worms. So, today's installment will be on heaven, the traditional Judeo-Christian, actually I suppose it's just Christian in this sense, but heaven, where you're up in the clouds with God and angels and harps and all that other stuff. But basically look at it this way. This is how I see it from the beginning. If you die and you go to heaven and you're living forever in this wonderful place, okay, supposedly, purportedly, this is what happens. Won't that be, well, A, there's the whole, won't it be kind of boring? Because nothing ever changes if it's an eternity of things. So there's that. If you want to dismiss that and simply say, well, it will just be good and you won't be bored, you can do whatever you want. If that's the case, how will I still be me? If all is well and I have nothing to struggle with and nothing to argue with or no controversy, if there's no disagreement, then I'm not really me anymore, am I? Because I sort of exist defined as a being that's always working and striving and seeking more. Because if I find myself in a place where I'm not struggling, I'm not trying to achieve, I'm not trying to learn and grow, how am I still me at all? And then think about the fact that, okay, if you're in a place forever, okay, for an eternity, you will be here forever, this is it, eternity. I've heard it said, well, the first million years would be kind of fun, maybe even the second million years would be kind of fun. But after that, then what? Are you just waiting around for things to do? And during this whole time, if you're still you, as you're purported to be, if you still consider yourself you, the person you are now will still be in heaven, won't you be learning things this whole time? And if you're learning things forever, don't you eventually come to a point where you know everything? Well, probably not, because it's asymptotic. You'll never quite get to everything, but you'll certainly get a whole lot of stuff. Wouldn't that kind of make you God at that point? Alright, so then they say, well, then it's union with God. Well, union with God implies that I'm no longer me. For how can I still be me as well as part of an eternal being? It just doesn't, I don't like it. It's not so much an argument against heaven, I suppose, but it's an argument of why I don't think it's a great idea for me, because I like being me. And any kind of afterlife where I'm not going to be me is a problem. If I'm still going to exist in that sense, but I'm not going to be me anymore, then I will still cease to exist once I die. And I will get into that in other videos as we go along. For most various forms of afterlife that are conceived as an eternity, try to convey it as you being part of it, but that doesn't make any sense, because you won't be there. If you merge with God, if your soul becomes one with God, then you are no longer you. And what's the point then? What's the point of all of it if you stop being you? So, I really don't know what else to say about that. That just seems to me the worst problem with that. Because I want to be me. I like to be me. I enjoy my experiences. I am defined in many ways by what I lack. It's sort of how it works. If you were everything and if you had everything, then what are you? You're certainly not a human being anymore. You're certainly not the person who went through everything to get to that point. I mean, imperfections and gaps in memory and gaps in feeling are part of the human condition, and to lose that means to stop being human. And since my goal is to be me, and my objective is to be me, anything that would purport to continue my existence at the expense of this persona falls apart, and does not suffice as an acceptable afterlife for me. So I've ruled out heaven. Who does that, right? But I've sort of ruled out heaven as an option because I don't want to go there. Not that I want to go anywhere else, and I will get into other videos later, so stay tuned. I still don't have a sign out. I don't know. I have no suggestions yet. No one's helped me with suggestions, except for the one that my coworker gave me of peace out, Girl Scout. And I'm just not going to do that. I just refuse. So I guess I'll just fall back on the until next time, which always works fine. And I hope to hear some interesting debates on why heaven is not the best place to go.